If you are using email marketing to drive revenue, you need to know which emails are actually making money and which ones are not. This sounds straightforward, but email revenue attribution is one of the most misunderstood areas of digital marketing. Different tools measure it differently, the numbers rarely agree, and the way you attribute revenue to email can dramatically change how you evaluate your email program's effectiveness. This video explains what email revenue attribution is, how it is typically measured, why the default settings in most platforms overcount email revenue, and how to think about attribution in a way that gives you actionable insights rather than misleading numbers. Email revenue attribution is the process of assigning credit for a sale to the email that influenced it. When a customer receives your email, clicks a link, visits your store, and makes a purchase, that purchase gets attributed to the email. The basic concept is simple, but the details create complexity. The central question is, how much credit should the email receive? Most email marketing platforms use a generous attribution window by default. Klaviyo, for example, attributes revenue to an email if the subscriber clicked the email and made a purchase within a defined window, often 3 to 5 days after the click. Some platforms also attribute revenue if the subscriber simply opened the email, even if they did not click, and then made a purchase within the window. This opening-based attribution is particularly inflated because many opens are registered by Apple Mail privacy protection without the subscriber actually reading the email. The result is that your email platform might tell you that email generated 40% of your revenue last month, when the actual influence of email on those purchases was much smaller. Some of those customers would have purchased anyway through other channels. Some were influenced by multiple touchpoints, such as social media, ads, and organic search, and email was just one of several factors. The email platform does not know about these other influences, so it takes full credit for every purchase that happened within the attribution window. Understanding this overcounting is important because it affects how you allocate your marketing budget and how you evaluate the return on investment of your email program. If you believe email generates 40% of your revenue, you might underinvest in other channels. If the true influence is 20%, your budget allocation should look different. There are several attribution models, and each one tells a different story about how your channels contribute to revenue. Last-click attribution gives all the credit to the last channel the customer interacted with before purchasing. If they clicked an email and then bought, email gets 100% of the credit. If they clicked a Google ad after the email and then bought, Google Ads gets the credit and email gets nothing. Last click is simple but ignores the role that earlier touchpoints played in influencing the purchase. First click attribution gives all the credit to the channel that first introduced the customer. If they first discovered your brand through a blog post and later purchased after an email, the blog gets the credit. This model values the top of the funnel but ignores the nurturing that happened afterward. Linear attribution splits the credit equally across all touchpoints in the customer's journey. If they interacted with a blog post, a social media ad, and an email before purchasing, each channel gets 1/3 of the credit. This is more balanced but can dilute the contribution of channels that played a particularly decisive role. Time decay attribution gives more credit to touchpoints closer to the purchase and less credit to earlier ones. This model reflects the intuition that the interactions closest to the buying decision were most influential, while earlier interactions set the stage but had less direct impact. For most small and mid-sized businesses, the practical approach is to use the default attribution in your email platform for day-to-day campaign evaluation, but to periodically cross-reference with your overall analytics to calibrate your understanding. If your email platform says email drove $50,000 in revenue last month, but your total revenue was only $80,000, and your other channels also claim significant attribution, the numbers do not add up. This overlap is normal and expected, but it means you should not take any single platform's attribution numbers at face value. Practical steps for better email revenue attribution start with understanding your platform's default settings. Check what attribution window your email platform uses and whether it includes open-based or click-based attribution. If it includes open-based attribution, consider switching to click-based only, which gives you a more conservative and accurate picture of email's impact. Use UTM parameters on every link in your emails. UTM parameters are tags added to your URLs that allow Google Analytics or other web analytics tools to identify traffic from specific email campaigns. When you see revenue in Google Analytics attributed to a specific email campaign via UTM tags, that attribution is based on the customer actually clicking the link and completing a purchase in a trackable session, which is more reliable than the email platform's attribution. Compare your email platform's revenue reports with your actual sales data. If your email platform says your last campaign generated $10,000 in revenue, check your order management system to see who actually placed orders that day and whether those customers received and engaged with the email. This manual cross-reference is tedious but reveals how much of the attributed revenue was genuinely influenced by email versus coincidentally happened during the attribution window. Finally, use incrementality thinking to evaluate your email program. Ask, what would have happened if I had not sent this email? Would these customers have purchased anyway? For recurring customers who buy every month, sending them a promotional email might coincide with a purchase they were going to make regardless. For new subscribers who have not purchased before, a well-timed email might be the catalyst that drives the first purchase. The value of email is highest when it influences behavior that would not have happened otherwise, and lowest when it simply takes credit for behavior that was going to happen anyway. Email Revenue Desk helps creators, small businesses, and solo operators understand email marketing as a real revenue system. The channel explains welcome sequences, newsletters, subject lines, segmentation, retention campaigns, and simple automations that can turn subscribers into long-term customers without spam tactics or fake urgency. This video is general email marketing education, not a guarantee of revenue, open rates, clicks, conversions, or subscriber growth. Results vary by audience, list quality, offer, cadence, deliverability, and execution.